Hello. Hi, everyone. Hey, the chat thing's kind of working. Hope you're all okay. Hope you can see me and hear me okay. Hope it's all working. Things have been reconfigured. We zoomed all the way out, unfortunately. I'll get this mouse out of the way. Well, fortunately, because we can see the game. Unfortunately, because the sides are where I hide the mouse and stuff. And we're going to play some Endless Winter. And probably get stomped by a robot. Well, not a robot. Nomads are the solo opponents in Endless Winter. Hi everyone. My chat thing on the main screen still isn't working again, but I can see that the chat is populated. Hey, Heroic Logic, Monica, Dark Mind, James, Matt, Steve, Mikhail. Hi Ugly, how's it going? So yes, this is a kind of combined hybrid conglomerate game of all sorts of different mechanisms. There's worker placement, there's deck building, there is area control out on this map and kind of on this board here. There's a robot, there's a Stone Age robot that we're going to be playing against here. No Marty Cam, unfortunately, as yet. If he turns up, I'll turn it on. But so far, he's been in bed all day. Not his bed, of course. Our bed. Can't have anything to ourselves. He's just been chilling on there for whatever reason. Maybe he's in protest of something. Apart from when he had dinner, of course. He was downstairs for that. Hey Jester, how's it going? So yes, there are a few expansions and things for this. I have not played with any of the expansion things. I've played the base game a couple of times before this, but I've never played it on this expert variant, which isn't in the box. So there's a solo variant, then there's a hard mode for it. They're both kind of easy. It's like even the hard one. It's the normal mode. Yeah, the bot got stumped, but to kind of combat that, I have had it recommended a few times in various places as well. There is an expert variant that is in the forums on Board Game Geek. There's a link to an official document saying give the bot all of these extra things, and they get to do these extra things throughout the game as well. I feel like it's going to go from me being like, hey, the bot's too easy, to being like, wow, the bot stumped me. But we'll see how it goes, eh? Promo decks for the canines are fun to include. Yeah, there's loads of stuff that looks kind of cool. It's a bit of a weird one that, like, there are so many little bits and bobs that, yeah, I'm kind of lost to, like, what should I have opened? What should I include in this? And, like, I think it's all solo compatible, so there isn't an issue with, like, what is and isn't an option. It's just kind of like, where'd you start? I suppose just with the base game from here. But, yeah, that's what we're doing for now. So the bot will get to start and kind of take, like, they'll take automatic things. They don't take actions in the same way that we do, but yeah, they get plenty of benefits without having to put too much thought into it. And we've got to work out how to stop them. Like, I am... Or should they start? Oh yeah, the startup. I haven't moved them up idle tracks, have I? Hey, Paul. You working on the Frostpunk video? Frostpunk arrived today, by the way, everyone. If you see my ongoing saga with getting Frostpunk, DPD have had it for some time, but they've finished playing with it now, and it got delivered today. I'm really excited. But yeah, for now, Endless Winter. So yeah, there's some extra stuff. They get more animal cards and things if my bot button works. Hey, there's the bot. You don't really need to see their playboard that much. They have resources in the same way I do. They don't have a deck in the same way that I do. They start off with more animals. They start off with a setup card's worth of things that they normally don't. And the terrain board, this here, is set up for a 4-player game. Usually there's more glaciers and less proper spaces. But yeah, we do it for a 4-player game in this. So there are a load of these bot cards. And why isn't none of me writing and stuff coming up at the bottom? Why is the template not appearing? It's meant to be. Why do you not fancy coming up? It's there. Is something covering it up? I can see that the writing's supposed to be there. Like you should see the normal, hey, here's a Patreon and here's a Ko-fi things at the bottom of the screen, but they've just decided to not turn up. Wait a minute, are they like miles off screen? Why has that happened? Whoa, that's big. We'll do this for the stream. A little subtle Ko-fi box. Yeah, for some reason, my normal little text things have massively expanded and ran off to some far off distant corner that's not on screen. There we go. A little fix. Yeah, we have to go into the blackout engineering room to fix things like that. But yeah, they start up higher up these tracks, which is a big thing actually, because on the times that I've played, the Nomad has got nowhere on these tracks. Only really competes on one, and then the rulebook's like, oh, once they've done one, they'll start racing up another one. And at the end of the game, so I was like, well, they barely made progress on that one. But yeah, we move up on those to start with. They get all these extra cards and things, and they'll get to do loads of extra actions. So we'll see how they get on with that. Hey, Jencam, how's it going? Thanks for joining in. Board Games with Niramas. Hey, Joseph, how's it going? Yeah, this is like, I feel like I'm coming late to Endless Winter as well. Like it's been a smash, hasn't it? But I've got it now. So yes, the bot will go first. They always start first, but hopefully we'll be able to do stuff that kind of gets them out of the way, gets us a little bit higher up in the Eclipse phase. So they have this deck, which we will draw from, and they will get to do things according to columns on here. I think this screen will be the zoom in of the cards. So in the easy difficulty, you just draw a card. Well, not easy, the normal difficulty. You draw a card and, okay, hey, they're going to place there if the column's free, and then they're going to do these actions. And then in a future card, they draw a new one, and it goes on top, and you leave the bottom row available. So, oh, now they'll do four things this time. No, they do 3 things this time. So yeah, it builds up and builds up over your 3 actions, because you've got 2 basic workers and your chief, the lovely, like, kind of washed, bone-looking minis. So that's the way they normally work. For hard mode, you get a card already out before you draw anything else. For expert, they start off with 2 cards before anything else. So straight away, on turn 1, they're going to get to do 4 things. So loads, potentially, is going to get done here. Mark Cleania, thanks for the link, Steve. Oh yeah, I put the things up and then never said anything about them. You get it. There's a Patreon, there's a Ko-fi, they're linked in places if you'd like to support. Hey Danielle, thanks for joining us from Canada. So yes, this is our preparation before the bot's first turn, the Nomads. So they get to draw a card first, and that's where I don't want them to go, but typically. So they look at a column. It doesn't really matter which of their workers they place, because they don't have a... We've got a special thing. If we place our chief, we can get some special benefits if we go to a certain action, but they don't do that. So they're going to try and go exploring, putting camps out and stuff. They basically look out onto the board and see, is the column that they want to go in available? Yes, it is. So they go in there. If I was already here, they would look to the next one along. There's a kind of priority arrow on all of their cards that tells you whether to go left or right. But yeah, they want to go to an empty column, because you get to do extra things if you're the first person to place your worker on a space. You'll see how it works for a player. They do a load of extra things. Yeah, I'm using all of the suggestions, Paul, and I feel like I'm going to get stumped. Especially because, like, so one of the other extra things that this expert level increases is that, like, I don't really know, because I suppose it's not a level, is it? It's a load of separate things, but I haven't played expert yet to test how difficult all of this is going to be. It would be fun to get stumped, wouldn't it? So these are extras that you just get. You're not supposed to use all of them. Well, we'll just leave that off then. I don't know, it's a bit difficult because it's also separate with the expansions and things, and it does, like, the usual, like, I'm not singling out Endless Winter because tons of games do this for like the solo rule. It's like, do all of the normal things and then do these things differently. And then the separate solo variants thing. Shall I just do the setup stuff and just ignore all of the gameplay variants? They just get a load of extra things. Because yeah, there's a variant where they get these bonuses as well, but like that seems scary because some of the bonuses are just get some more resources. Some of the bonuses are like actually put more of your villages and things out onto the board. Should we just ignore that then? I'll just do the extra setup things and give them more cards and not do all of this stuff that I have to keep checking this page back for them. So they go on here. They're just blocking off spaces, basically. If I want to go into that column, and I do, because, spoiler, it's what my card I got in the setup gives me a bit of a bonus for. I can still go there, and I can still make use of it, but it's nice to go there and get extra benefits in it. So they go there. They're taking up that space. And we go down their list in that column to show us what they're going to do. And there's a nice handy little spread in the centre of the rulebook reminding you like, well, this is how the bot treats those things. And they are quite easy to do. I'm just going to make sure for the first time that I don't miss any little steps or anything. Oh, the chat's doing that thing as well. That, yeah, it doesn't get refreshed for ages. And then I suddenly get loads appearing at once. Oh, well, I see it eventually. So yes, the first thing they're going to do is for every camp that they have got, keep wanting to say village, but they get villages later. For each camp that they have got on a glacier, they get a point. Actually, the way that the map has come out, there's kind of special configurations of how many tiles to do and all this, but the shape is the same. I suppose because of the variant actually putting fewer glaciers out. They haven't started on one, so they're not going to get any points from that, luckily for me. But then they are going to build a village stroke relocate their camps. So first of all, we check to see on this map, not that one, on this map, can they build a village? So you can build a village if you have got camps kind of around these central spaces here, these joins in the hexes. If you've got camps in a nice little triangle, you can put a village in the middle and your camps come off. So can they place a village the way their camps are? No. And they won't be able to with their first thing. They've got a card here saying how it starts off. So they can't do that. So we follow sequence B instead. Reveal the top card from the map deck, and this is something else special for the bots. And place the nomad token. What? Oh no, that's if they're all there. Reveal the thing and put it on the map discard pile. Move the 2 camps in the inner ring to this new place. So that kind of works out better for them because they've now got 3 camps around here. The chat thing's so distracting when it's all appears. You're still broken as well, Paul. I don't know what. Like, it seemed alright the other day as well. I don't know why it's doing it again. Very Happy New Year, everyone that's hadn't been wished it yet. Hi, Anne. How's it going? So there's like, there are many kind of options on this variant page. So some of the extra things are, the extra setup stuff I've just put on. So that is, they get a setup card the same way a player does. That's why they've got some resources and they've got 2 extra animal cards to begin with. They also start on the 4th space of each track on the Nomad board. Normally they would start at 0 with you. And the terrain board is set up for a 4-player game instead of a 2-player game, which just means that there are 3 less glacier tiles. And there's a couple more gameplay things you can do, but the one I'm doing is, in hard difficulty, you start out with a card already out on the board. Expert difficulty, you start with 2 already out. Things that you can do on top of that, when they place workers, normally they get nothing from like what the actual space says. They do it according to their card. But if they're the first person to go in a column, another expert thing you can do is they also get those things. I'm not going to do that. And if they ever draw a map card and it doesn't put them in the position to be able to do something, like if they'd gone like over on this side, still can't build a village, you would keep drawing until they can do something in that. So I suppose, like, based on how good you are at the game, you can keep piling those things on until it's like competitive enough with you. So yeah, they've moved their things now. So next time they get to do that, which isn't this turn, fortunately, they will get to pop a village down instead. And there's kind of majority. You want to have the most points on those hexes. A camp is 1 point, a village is 2 points. So they've done get points for being on glaciers, pop a village down, or relocate camps. They relocated camps. Then they are going to do some burying. So they have a sacrifice deck. This is because they don't have proper deck building like us. We will gather up cards, we will sacrifice cards, and according to who buried the most cards, you'll get points for how many you buried throughout the game. So the bot has a special sacrifice deck because they don't have a normal deck. So that goes into their buried pile. So it's just some points for the card itself, and it's, yeah, competing with you to bury things as well. Next up, they're gonna get Eclipse cards. 2 Eclipse cards. So the Eclipse cards, you can play cards when you pass, and they will give you kind of extra things for the Eclipse. They will give you extra work symbols, extra hands. It's something we're going to compete for. Also, cards left in your hand can contribute to that at the end of a round, and it determines turn order and things like that. So they basically are going to take 2 cards from their deck. You can see in the corner there that it's got an Eclipse symbol and a number of hands. We don't know what they're going to be contributing, but we know they're going to be contributing something to the Eclipse. So they got to do a load of things there. You see, like, as you return to those things and they repeat those things again, you don't have to, like, go through it and explain it all again. You know, you just need to draw a card and stuff. You 100% use the rule about keep taking a card until they get a potential build. That was your suggested rule. We'll use your suggested rules. You should check out, by the way, like, if you haven't seen them and you're interested or have Endless Winter, Paul's got tons of videos at this point with the various expansions and things turned off and on. He's an Endless Winter expert. So I've got to do a turn now, haven't I? Okay, so when you want to do a turn, first of all, you can play culture cards. I do actually start with one here. This display is where we will get a really nice array of more culture cards in the future. But I just have this one in my hand. I think I've got one more in my starting deck. You see, like, ones with this symbol on are from my starting pile, which all of my cards are apart from this one. The setup card gave me this Pathfinder card, which can potentially get you stuff when you take the migration action, which the bot just did. So I'm less inclined to do that. I can do it later if I really want to do it. So I could do communal feasts now, which would let me spend a food to take a tribe card. So like the Pathfinder there, it's particularly good for an action, but they go into my discard pile, so that'd be good to use later on. It just depends, like, do I want to use that food now? Do I want to save up some more food for stuff? The other action that I might kind of really want to take is my develop action here. My Chief Chiselstone, and there's her mini. Oh, maybe show her face. It gives me a bonus when I take the develop action, and you can choose in the solo game. You can choose between a couple of things, and you can choose which side you want it to be on. I've gone for tools apparently, and so doing the develop action is a bit more rewarding if you use your chief to go there. So I think because that gets me the big bonuses, maybe I want to pop my chief out and just do that action. But the downside of that is I need a lot of work symbols to contribute to things. But we could get it's early days. We can get stuff. We can get stuff built up. Oh yeah, you can play more. Yeah, you can play more than one culture card, but you've got to discard cards to play additional ones, because later on there's a very good chance you'll get a lot of culture cards. So yeah, we're going to place on here. So when an actual player does an action in Endless Winter, you work down the symbols on it. So first of all, the top section will have one or more things that you can do as much as you like, as much as you want to, as much as you can afford to do. Then you'll move down to this, and this is an action you can do once. And then if you're the first person to do it, you go there, get that benefit, and stay there blocking it off for everyone else. If you come in later, then you go down to this bottom section, because anyone can take these columns, but yeah, only one person gets that bonus. So the first thing is we can spend work symbols. We can put our tribe to work, and we can get those culture cards. So the culture cards, hey, buttons work. The culture cards over in a display down here. For 3 work symbols, I can get one of those. If we look at my hand of cards, I've got a basic tribesman, doesn't do anything at all, but contribute 1 hand, 1 work. The tribeswoman can contribute 1.5 work. If, though, I want to pay a food, I can get myself a tool. So, if you want to swap between them, if you needed a tool more than that. But like a lot of the better cards, a lot of the non-basic cards, well, I think all of the non-basic cards, they will give you a benefit if they're still in your hand at the eclipse phase. They will do an extra thing. So in the tribeswoman case, I'll be able to bury a card that's in my, I think it's your hand or your played area or your discard pile. So I could get rid of, say, cards like the tribesman, no offense, and thin my deck out and get my more useful cards out sooner. The brave provides 1.5, but also provides another one. So might be wasting some things here. And only the cards in the corner are considered for the eclipse. So you want to save them in your hand for the eclipse, for the special ability here, for the number of hands you can contribute to try and be first player and get the better benefits and things. But you also want to use them in the game so that you can take better actions and things. And the Pathfinder I'm probably going to save, because the Pathfinder would give me an extra work symbol if I'm using them in the migrate action, or save them and I can move camps about with them. So probably not going to use those. Let's see, the tribeswoman and the brave would contribute 3, but I'm kind of wasting the tribeswoman's ability and the brave's ability. I've got an extra 1 that would be wasted. So I think maybe just waste half. I've got 3.5 there, which is a bit of a waste, but it gets me a culture card. So I think I'm going to play those for their work symbols and the little bonus from the brave. And I can pick a culture card. So all of these are from the 1 deck. Later on, it will come from the 2 deck. There's 4 rounds in the game. Round 3 takes us into Era 2. So we get different things made available to us. So what would I really like to go for? I would like, to be able to put more things out onto the map. I know it's making me like, maybe it's starting with the Pathfinder. I would like to take control of the map and not get buried in the nomads just taking stuff all the time. So I'm more inclined to go for one of these. They're basically the same thing. Scouting gets me food and a point, whereas mountain scaling would just get me a tool. They both give me put a camp out and move a camp, which I find pretty appealing right now. And you can get like animal cards, you can get to berry cards. But I think I'm going to go for the scouting. So that comes into my hand. That's something I can play at the start of a future turn now. So I've got that. I've done the top thing. I haven't got... Well, I could actually, if I wanted to play all of my cards, I could get 3 more things and get another culture card, but I wouldn't really be able to contribute any more hands to any of the other actions. So I don't think I'm going to do that. Next up, I can pay food and tools to be able to get one of the stone slabs. I have got 3 food and 2 tools, and the cost is kind of up to you. You've got 3 slots for these tablets. They will give you points every eclipse based on different criteria, and you'll get a little reward when you take them based on kind of how much you paid for them, really. So I could just go cheap here, and to be honest, it's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go cheap, pay 1 of each. I will get to bury a card, and why not do that now? I'm going to bury the tribesman. So this is where my buried cards go. They go in that area there. And yeah, which tablet do I want then? So we're only looking at the Era 1, these first 4, and more would be available in a game with more players. So we would be looking at villages on that type of terrain. Is that the forest one? Yeah, it's the foresty looking one. So not just your camps, you have to have put 3 camps around them and got villages out. A bit of an appealing thing about that is, well, actually, it's number of camps on forest. I was going to say because they're next to each other, that would be a camp on 2 forests, but it's the number of villages you have got on those forests, isn't it? That's for getting your tiles out onto this board. That is for having your camps on different types of terrain. And again, having villages but on the desert. Now, there's one... Is it desert? There's one plains, deserty tile. So that's not a very attractive one. There's 3 forests, so that's a bit more attractive. Or maybe I just want to get a load of camps out on different areas. I do want to get these villages and things out there, don't I? I'm going to go for villages. Let's plan ahead. Villages on forests. I've buried my card already. I've done that thing. I've done that thing. And last thing, because I'm the first person here, I get a tool and a food. Okay, I think that's me. Mistakes in live streams. They don't happen, do they? Oh, I haven't opened this card. That's what mute's for. I'm having a purple tango. Bot time. What are they doing? They are going to try and go in the same column again. Unfortunately, it is not empty, and that's their priority. So they are going to look to the left. That's the column I've just gone in. So they are going to go in the initiate column instead. Pop a new thing out. They're just blocking a spot off. We look at the cards for what they're actually doing. So they have placed in this column. First of all, they're going to bury a card. So top thing from their sacrifice pile goes into their bury pile. Then they're going to try and pop a village out. Can they pop a village out? Yes. What happens to their camps afterwards? They go somewhere else, don't they? I don't think they ever actually lose camps off of the board like I do. Can't remember what button I've put in. So they can put a village down because they are surrounding this spot here. So they get one of the villages, pop it down there. That's bad because in terms of area control for each of the hexes, in the eclipse, the person who controls the hex will get the benefit. 1 point, 2 points, food, tools, all that stuff. But the villages are worth 2 points for every hex that it's touching. That's why, like, normally a player needs to take them off when they're done. So we've placed it on there, then reveal the top card from the map deck and move the 3 camps on the outer ring to this new space. So they're suddenly getting control of 1 billion places. So the ones on the outer ring go over here. I've got to try and do something about that then, I guess. Then, can they put a village out? They can. This is where, like, expert already is just going to stomp me, I think. They can put a village out. We don't move those, though. So they put that out. They move on the outer ring to these spaces. At least they can't put another one out right there now. Although, is that the rule where we need to keep moving them? Oh no, that did it did result in an effect. It moves. Oh, so it's only if the card like didn't move them and they're already in a position where they can't build a village. So they have just done something. Is that right, Paul? Am I interpreting that properly? They got to do something, so they don't get to do another card. Then they're going to bury another one. And then finally, I think it's megalith time. So the megaliths get placed on this board over here. You start with the leftmost ones that are the grey ones, and then you start putting ones out of your own colour. So their priority, later on, as these get placed out onto the map, will get 4 kind of in a group, and then you can put one on top and you score points for every like colour that you've put it on top of. More points for your own, some points for other players' colours as well, and you're blocking them off from being able to do it. That is the Nomad's priority. They want to put tokens on top of a group of 4 and get the points, like anyone would. At the start, though, they can't do that. So you've got to start in these 4 spaces to begin with, and then you can spread out from already placed things. So they've got these 4 options. According to their card, they've got the left arrow and then the down arrow. So given a choice of places, they'll pick the leftmost place first. The bonus for placing in one of those first spots is, hey, you get to pop another one down. So they go for the option of where to place things now is these 3 or these ones. So their priority is the leftmost and then the lowest. So they will go down here, which gets them 1 tool. Where's the bot? There's the bot. And they will need it for getting these tablets and things like that later on. Okay. That's all of their things. They got to do a lot of things. So, hunting looks like a good option because I can get the first player bonus there. That's always, a thought that if we go there, we will get an extra thing. But I'm kind of worried, about these camps. They've got to do a load of stuff. Why have I got 2 camps there? Have I had an extra one from something, or have I been doing some explaining wrong? I don't know how I've done that. Oh, it was from my setup card. It's from my setup card. Just thinking I was cheating then. So I am going to do a culture card first. So my scouting lets me pop a camp out. They always go on the central camp tile. And then I can move a camp 1 space and get a food. That goes in me played, doesn't it? And then they go in my discard pile. So where do I want to move to? Well, stamping out their influence is going to be pretty hard, isn't it? Oh, they're on a glacier as well when they moved their central things. So they would have got this, reveal an animal card, and then take an animal card. Their priority is for things they've already got. They've already got one of these lovely wild cards, so they'll take that, I think. Yeah, that's a little kind of optional extra that you can use that I think it tells you to in the expert mode. So I've done it. So yeah, with 1 move, I mean, we could just say, like, they get those things for now and move on to maybe putting megaliths down and working towards where they might put villages down later. Yeah, I'm going to go there, so at least I'll get to put a megalith down, because at the moment, they've got 3 influence points there. If all I'm doing is popping a village there, a camp there, I'm going to get nothing out of it. Because at least, like, if I spread out kind of close, hopefully I'll get something until they pop a proper village down. So that was a culture card that I played. I can discard a card to play my other one, but I've got another turn coming up. I think I'm all right with that. I'm going to place a worker. So where is that worker going to go? Am I going to go in the free kind of animal tile? I want to have work symbols to put things out. I need... Well, I would like... Because you can move things in a triangle. If I get 1 more movement point, then I can put something there, and it's all great. But... if I had 3 movement points, I could put 1 there, doom doom, and then put a village there. Still get majority on these 2 things, but also hopefully block them off getting this one, which is a bit more attractive to me. It would mean I need to save both of these cards for it, though. And kind of whatever I do as an action before then won't get me anything. Unless I went for Initiate and got myself a tribe tile. Another tribe card. Maybe another Pathfinder that would help me out. Would give me more than enough symbols. Or I just go for Hunter while it's free, and I wouldn't have anything to spend at the top, so I could like rotate my animal card, which would get me a new camp out and get me some food, which would be nice, and get me a mystery animal card. I could just do that. Just like you want to spend your hands. Now, something I can do though, I do want to hang on to food, but you can, if you look at your player board here, you can decrease your food past the next hand symbol, and that's a work as well. So I think we can still do animals, almost forgetting that. I think we can still do animals and make some use out of it. So first of all, you can spend a work to reveal 2 new animal cards. You can spend a tool and a work to take an animal card. The animal cards are set collection. They're worth points. So based on how rare the card is, it's worth more and more points the more you've got. So getting 4 stags is worth 10 points. You sometimes, though, get to rotate your animal cards. That gives you this bonus that's on them, but then the animal doesn't contribute to scoring later on. So yeah, out in the display, there's another stag, so I could be working towards set collection there. But there's also this sloth. I think the stag is a rotation thing that I want to use. Like, do I need tools to put the village out? I don't, do I? Do you know what? I'm going to spend a work to get an animal. I'm going to spend a work. Oh, and it's a tool. I'm going to spend a work and a tool to get an animal. I think I'm going to try and... We could try and get sloths, couldn't we? So I could, if I contribute the tribeswoman now, that's another hand, and I could use a food as a tool. Yeah, because I'm about to get some more food by rotating an animal, so I think I'll do that. Take all of the animals out of the display. Yeah, I think I'm going to have the sloths for set collection, and I'm going to rotate the stags because they let me put camps out, and maybe I'll make that my thing. I'm not going to pay to reveal any more cards. I'm fine. So the next thing is rotate one of your animal cards to get the benefit. I'm going to do the stag, pop a camp out on the camp space and get 4 food. So 4 food, and the more camps you've got out, the more space you've got for food also. But they do come crashing back as soon as you put a village out. You have to take your camps back. You don't get to just put them on 3 more spaces. Right. Oh, Paul, I can only see tip. What was your tip? Oh, and the bonus thing, mystery animal, that's just grab one off the top of the deck. It is a Glyptodon. So same set collection, but could be rotated for an honor. Move up this track. So this track, I don't know how much moving we're going to be doing up this. The left-hand track can give you some immediate rewards when you get to first spaces, but also it makes your resources worth points at the end of the game. If you haven't moved, they're worth nought. But later on, they could be worth a point for every resource you have left. This one here makes your burying worth more points. So the highest on here gets the best return for the number of cards that they've buried, and so on and so on. If you haven't moved, you don't get anything. So we want to do some honor before the end of it. Oh, you tip the animals. No, I'm much more gentle with the animals. I just give them a slow rotation suggestion. Oh, and it's called labour as well. Yes, that's an extra thing that I've just got from there. It's bot time, and they're getting to do a lot, aren't they? Okay, so they were going to hunt us. Well, they were going to hunt no matter what, basically, because whatever this card would have said, that would have been the only action left with a first player to go there bonus. So they would have picked that. They are picking it anyway now, though. So first of all, they get to reveal a card and then take a card based on their criteria. It's usually like, it's what animals they've already got. They haven't got a sloth, but it's their only choice, so they're going to have to take one. I think. Usually. They've revealed loads. Yeah. Ignoring any they already have 4 or more of. Yeah, they would then just take it with their arrow criteria. If there isn't one that increases their set collection, they would just use their arrows, but there was only 1 card to pick from, so that's what they're getting. James, the PDF for this expert mode, if you search the Board Game Geek forums, there is a post from, I think, the publisher. There is a post called, in the general forums, there is a post called Expert Level Solo Variants that links you to a Google Drive with the PDF of the expert bits. Yeah, you just put some mammoth food really low to the ground until it tips over. What are they doing? Oh, so then they're getting a mystery animal. Their mystery animal is another sloth. So if you want a bit of a preview of their board, they're already building up some sets there. Next thing, they are going to pop. I don't think it's worth competing with them for this Eclipse. They're putting a card out for the Eclipse, so that makes 3. Next one, they're putting 2 cards out for the Eclipse. I mean, some of them could have nothing on, but yeah, I suppose I wasn't really thinking of contributing to the Eclipse anyway, which is a shame because there's some great abilities. Yeah. You can't do everything, though. Okay, they've put more out. They're revealing a new animal, and then they're going to take an animal based on their criteria, but it's the only one, so they're going to take that. And then they're going to take a culture card, and the culture card is always just based on their arrows, isn't it? Because they don't actually use the culture card, so I don't think they're ever bothered. And then put it on their sacrifice deck. So they're not burying it yet. So their arrow says leftmost and then topmost. So they're taking this culture card, popping it on top of their sacrifice pile for later. And that is what they are doing. Last thing I want to do is, whatever the name of the action, migrate. Because I've got the Pathfinder that helps with migrate actions. So first of all, you can spend a tool to put a new camp out. I can't afford to do that, but I kind of don't need to do it. They should be in my discard pile. I can spend a labour to move a camp, though, and that is what I want to do. So the Pathfinder gives me 1, plus another 1, because his specialty is the migrate action. If I kept him, though, I would get to move a camp 2 spaces in the Eclipse, and he contributes 1 towards the Eclipse. But yeah, the Eclipse is getting a billion off them. So this gives me 2 labour. I want to move this camp 1, 2. But I also want to lose a food to get another labour to go there. And I've thought as well, this will also help me to put a village on a forest and get a couple of points in the Eclipse as well. So not too shabby. So I've done all I'm doing at the top here. Then I can spend 3 food, I've got 4, and 3 camps to put out a village. So they've got to be in the configuration, same as the bots were, but I've got to pay for it. So I can pop that out there. So I've got control of these 3 hexes now. Because at the moment, I don't think they will get to change this, unless I'm forgetting something. But at the moment, I've got 2 influence on these 3 hexes. They've only got 1 influence on it with camp. Unfortunately, my camps come back. But luckily, I haven't got a load of food that I'd suddenly have to lose. I've popped a village out, and then I don't get the bottom bonus. I don't know why I've moved them out of the way, as if I'm getting anything out of it. Right. That is my stuff. Oh, I never use my communal feasts. I suppose I might as well use it. I should have done it at the start of my turn. Letter of the law. But it lets me get another one of these. Should we go for more pathfinding? I mean, I do want to maybe be a bit good at other things as well, but maybe I'll laser in on pathfinding a bit. Let's get these camps out and stop them spreading out too much. Okay, I think that is all of my stuff now. Slightly in the wrong order, but they're all the right notes. Okay, played cards in discard pile. After your 3rd worker turn, this is where you will put face down cards into your Eclipse pile. I haven't got any cards, spoilers. But then in the Eclipse phase, we reveal and compare our cards for their labour totals. Nomads are contributing 1.5, 2.5, 3. Not unbeatable, but yeah, I'm not going to bother doing that. They beat me in the Eclipse phase. So reveal and compare those things. Reorder the tribe markers. They're still first. and then you get Eclipse benefits in turn order. So let's do all of their Eclipse benefits first, because they get some different things as well that I need to make sure I remember, don't they? Or maybe it just lists the things so I don't forget them. So first of all, you gain your turn order track benefit. They get to put a megalith out. So they can't put one on top of 4 that are already placed. So they need to place one. Oh, it's the rightmost and up, isn't it? Is their priority still. So the rightmost space they could place one is there. So that's where they'd go, isn't it? So I think that's their only priority. Yeah, there are no stacking opportunities, so the targeting arrows tell them where they put their megalith. And this is good for them, because the more of these they get out, there's benefits put underneath these. So although you're not getting points for them, you're uncovering extra benefits. So they want the rightmost and then the topmost, which gives them 2 food. So yeah, benefit next to your marker. Then they get benefits for anywhere that they have got the most or tied for the most influence. So they're getting 2 food from there. They're getting another megalith from here. So they go for rightmost, which is here, which lets them draw 2 cards. Whenever they would draw cards, though, they get to bury cards instead. So they're burying 2 cards. So really, I want to do some honor and not let them have the most for that, so they don't get a load of points for, let's face it, a lot of burying that they've already done so far. They've got, like, I couldn't really have competed here, though, I don't think. They get 2 food and 3 points. Pretty much at max food, though. But I bet that means they start to get something else, doesn't it? No, I don't think they do. And then they are up here as well. The Glacier doesn't get them anything, but this gets them 3 points as well. So they've got 6 points on the board there. And then benefits from their player board is based on uncovered stuff. So draw 2 more cards, which is bury 2 more cards. Wow. It's just because usually they wouldn't have these villages out. In the games I've had on the more normal difficulties, they get a tool. These aren't benefits you get ongoing. Once you put the tablets down, they are the ongoing things that you get. So that's all that the bot gets from the Eclipse. What do I get from an Eclipse? My turn order track bonus is to draw a card. You can always take lesser benefits. I think these are in the right order. Yeah, they are. So whenever you would get to take, say, a megalith, you could choose to do any of the things underneath it instead. Like, that's true for the rest of the game, I think. So whenever, if you really need food, but you're getting tools, you could choose to get the food instead. But draw a card. I could choose to get an honor instead, but I think extra cards might help me out at this point. So I'm going to draw a card. Perform Eclipse abilities on tribe cards. I didn't play any. Terrain benefits where I've got the most influence are a tool here and 2 megaliths. So I'm going to pop one out over... Oh, the grey ones have to go on starting... Wait a minute. Do the grey ones have to go on starting spaces? Place the leftmost megalith. Have I made a mistake there? Just on where they would have placed. Luckily, only they've been placing megaliths. So I don't think it's a mistake that would massively help you out. The first 2 megaliths you place must be the neutral ones, and they must be placed on the board itself, not stacked on top of anything else. Oh, yeah, it's fine. It's just that these grey spaces here can only have grey tiles on them. So you can put the grey tiles elsewhere. You just might not want to. Yeah, I was thinking, oh, this is great. I could put one out and then put one on top, but you've got to put the grey ones on the bottom. So I don't want to put things out. I can put 2 things out though, can't I? Yeah, first one we're going to place here, which lets me pop another megalith tile out in either of these two spaces. I'm going to pop that there and get 2 food. And then my other benefit, I can put a new one out now. There are 4 stacked next to each other, so I can pop this on top. You get 2 points for every one of your colour that you're on top of, and you get 1 point for every other colour. Does that include the neutral ones? Is it just player colours? Or neutral, yeah. But I kind of want to go on his because I stop him getting as many things. Oh, but no, they will get a point each from them, won't they? I'll block them off getting 2 points each, I suppose. I don't know. Have I done good? I think I have, because I get 4 points from this. They do get 2, and I've blocked them off from being able to get... They would have just got 2 for 6 points from doing something like that. So I think that's okay. And there's potential for the future. They'll probably get to do it, but 1 megalith, 2 megalith, and you've got another potential big score in place there. Okay, that's all of the stuff I get from terrain benefits. My player board benefits, draw a card and get a tool, and 2 points for every village you have on forest tiles. I've got 1, so that's another 2 points there. Then preparation phase, we go to round 2. All of your figures come back. The hunting grounds fill back up until they've got animals equal to the number of players plus 1. Refill the culture display from Era 1. Next round, we'll move into Era 2, and the whole thing gets cleared and replaced with Era 2 culture cards that are more powerful. And then, yeah, and players draw 5 cards. So 1, 2, 3. And then I've got to go into my discard pile, shuffle it up a bit. 4, 5. So I've got a few more cards and slightly better cards. I have drawn the rest of my tribesmen. So loads of basic cards there, but hopefully we can improve them, get them buried and stuff. I think all the Nomad needs to do in preparation is shuffle all the cards. Yeah, shuffle all the cards and make sure you reveal the extra ones. They could have been doing that while I was getting on, couldn't they? Right, so they start out with 2 already revealed, and they're going first, so they are going to try and go in the develop column, the one I like. And what are they going to get to do? They're going to try and take a tablet. I say try, they can definitely afford it. I have just knocked all my rule books off me little tiny shelf space. Use the left-right targeting arrow to determine which one they want. They take the leftmost one away. They don't care what the criteria for this is. They just get 2 points each eclipse phase for every sacred stone that they've got. And they place it on the leftmost space of their board. So they pop it there. They've still got to pay the tool and the food, but they've got so many resources at this point. They can afford no problem. Then they're going to get a culture card. Their priority is leftmost and bottommost, so they're going to get that one onto their sacrifice pile. Then an eclipse card and 2 more eclipse cards. So they're competing for that eclipse again. Okay. Again, my chief gets me extra benefits if I go on that action, but it's just been taken, so less incentive to go and do that. I've got a Pathfinder, so maybe I want to go and try and get a village out now. Yeah, let's do that. This could get us started quite nicely. So I've only got one camp out right now. It's a tool to put a new camp out. So I think this just might be where my tools go. I have got a card that would let me spend a tool to put a megalith out, which is tempting. Oh, do you know, I'm definitely going to do it. Let's do this first, because play that, pay one of my tools, I can get one back. Oh no, because I'm thinking I could place one there and then place one there, but then there's loads of opportunities for him to put things straight on top. I don't think I want to do that yet. I want to spend my 2 tools to put camps out so that I've got the potential. I haven't got enough food even. Okay, I don't want to do this. Change my mind. Maybe I do it twice though. Just even if I could get myself in a position to put a village out, I don't have 3 food for it because I haven't earned enough. So we should probably do animals to get some more food then. There's only a couple of places out that get you food, and they're a bit taken over by the nomads at the moment. I'm going to go over here. Let's get some animals. Okay. Do we want to do the megalith then? Not right now. Calm down about the megalith. Let him put one out and then you can put one on top. Okay, so it's a tool and a work. So there's a work just from a tribesman being played to take an animal. Now, the Argentavis is a wild card. Will count for any set that you need. Can get 2 honor by tipping them though. Sabertooth Cat is a new set. It is a set that the bot's collecting though, so it's tempting to take him away. And they don't want any more of this because they've already got 2. They collect these like sets, score a slightly different way than I do. Now let's get a Sabertooth Cat. So that is a tool spent though. So I could tip the stag to put a camp out, which I would then not need that tool for, and get 4 food so I could afford to do the thing later. Yeah, I still need to keep 1 tool though, I think. So I'd like another one. Just to afford anything, we'll need some tools. Now, let's go for it. Spend that tool. So I can get another one from the tribeswoman. Spend a food to get that tool. And another work. And let's get another Sabertooth Cat. They're not there for the bot to take, and I've got 3 points now from having 2 of them. And we will tip another stag to put a camp out and get us 4 food. Not too bad. That's the tipping done, and then I get a random animal just from the top of the deck for being the first one there. It's another Glyptodon. So I've got 3 sets of 2 things there. I know I've got 2 stags, but I tipped them, so they're not worth any points. But these are worth 3 each at the moment. Hopefully more if we get some more stuff done. I think that's it for me. Bot is going to try and go hunting. They can't, so their arrow goes to the right. So they're going to go on here, which isn't where I wanted, so I'm pleased about that. They're going to get a mystery animal. It's a sloth. That's their 3rd, so 6 points there. They're going to put... Oh, they're putting 2 megaliths out. That's a real shame. So the first megalith... Actually, they're not going to get to pile on because of the way they work. So they're going to put a megalith out in the rightmost space, which would be one of these 2, and then the bottommost of them. So we get to take a tribe card. They don't do that, though. Instead, they get a tool. But because of that, they haven't got a grouping of 4 that they can place one on. They put another megalith out. They are getting plenty of stuff out, I suppose. They can't go on top of a group of 4 together. So they go for the rightmost, which is another one there. So that's going to get them another tribe symbol, which is another tool. Okay, that could be worse. Can they put a village out right now? They can't, so they draw a card, don't they? And move their inner ones to here. So they get this bonus, which is a mystery animal, and then it's a mammoth. They've got 2 of those, so 5 points. And then tip an animal, which they don't do. They instead get a food. Being first on the glacier. And then finally, they bury a card. They've got a lot buried. They've got a lot done. This is a load of expert things put on, though. Okay. So I think, I hope I've got what I need to go and do camps now. So we're going to play the tribeswoman so we can turn a food into a tool. Spend that tool to put a camp out. So now we've got 3. Where's it going to be best to go? I think for having more villages, it would be nice to kind of be up here to get another one out. So how many points is that, though, of movement that I need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to need that anywhere you go, unless you're putting a village on one of these inner ones, though. I've only got 1.5 hands of work at the moment. Get 3, 4, 5. I can, if I spend all of my food, I can do that. I could even go here. It just doesn't get me control of loads more hexes, but I can go here where I know that they're going to put a village down next and stop them being able to do it. Let's go up here. Let's spend everything. So I've got 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll spend 3 food and 3 camps to put a village down in the middle of all of that. I think sounds good. So that's another camp out, and the bonus for doing this first, pop a camp out and I can move a camp 1 space. So where do I want to go for the next one? I want to try and move over here, I think, so I could maybe get the food as income. And if they put a village down here, at least I'll still be in control of this one, because I'll have 3 points to there too. Actually, these don't move, do they? I'll have 3 to 3 though, so that's okay. You both get it then. I haven't got a tool though to be able to do these altars, sadly, when it comes around to my 3rd action. Oh, I didn't use a Pathfinder. Because they would have, yeah, using a Pathfinder instead of a tribesman, I would get a bonus hand from that anyway, so I don't have to spend as much food. Yeah, I think that's all right. I just think my 3rd action is going to be a bit of a waste. I haven't really beefed up my deck that much, have I? But they're going to try and, well, they're going to go there because their last action can't go on an empty column. And they're going to put out a megalith. They can't put one on top of anything, so they're going to go for the rightmost where they can place, and then the bottommost. Topmost would have got 4 together, but bottommost doesn't. Put a tribesman in their discard pile. They just get a tool instead. Then bury a card. Megalith. Again, they're going for rightmost, which is this space, isn't it? So now they've made 4. They get another tool, but they're maxed out. Another megalith. That's all of their megaliths now. They place that on top and they get 8 points for that. But I can't really do much about that. They did get to do 3 in one big go. Can they put a village out? Yes. And then a card moves them around the outside to these spaces. That's kind of why I was thinking of going up there, because I thought if the card does put them up there, at least they don't get those hexes. They've not taken anything from me as well. They will also get this benefit and this benefit. And they're gaining that. No, they already had that, didn't they? Because they had the single ones on it. It's annoying, but yeah. So they've popped that out, and then they get to bury another card. Nearly gone through their entire sacrifice deck. Yeah, I think we've gone from the bot doing not nearly enough in the other modes to the bot doing way too much. But we'll see how it works out in the scores. How do I know? So I've got something. I haven't got any tools to be able to play my culture cards, sadly. I've only got one labour of stuff to do. And no tools. It might be worth resting. So resting, you get to draw a card, tip an animal, and you get 1.5 for the eclipse. And then I would have this tribesman. I'd have 2.5 for the eclipse. They have already got like 3 cards in it. Or I could just like tip an... I get to tip an animal here though. Pay a food to get one of these cards into my discard pile and bury a card. Like a basic one like the tribesman. I think this is going to be better. Draw a card, tip an animal, and so which set are we going to dig into? I do want tools, but I think we're going to do the Glyptodon for 3 food and an honor, and we will start making our way up the burying one. So... yeah, we've done that. Then it's time for Eclipse. So do I want to pop these both on Eclipse? I mean, I only get to move a camp though. I don't get to put a camp out. Moving it could get me. If I'm willing to give up this megalith. Moving could get me some meats. Or I save it and I'll get more actions tomorrow. I just contribute 1. So I've got, because I rested, 1.5. And another 1 from there. They have got, what should this be like 3? 2. It's fine. I've got 2.5. Great. Okay, so at least I win the Eclipse. So I go up top. And let's do my benefits first. I get a megalith, which I am going to place. There's nowhere to get a nice 4, but I could get some good benefits, couldn't I? Mystery animal, draw 2 cards. Resource is probably what I'm leaning towards. I mean, we could, if we're not worried about making a 4, I could get 2 tools right there. It's not points, but we can work that out later maybe. Then Eclipse abilities on the tribe cards that I play. I didn't play the Pathfinder, so I haven't got any of those. The terrain benefits, I have got majority here, so I'm getting a point, 2 tools. Too many now. I didn't even need these. I didn't even need to go here. I'll be glad of them though, won't I? Another one there, and another 2 megaliths. Okay, so now... now I kind of wish I'd put that somewhere else. Yeah, if I'd put it over, say, here, and got 1 fewer tool, I could go there and draw 2 cards. Was that 2? Yeah, draw 2 cards, which would be good for next round. And then my second one could go on top, which gets me 2, 4, 5, 6 points and none for the bot, whereas putting things on top of his will get him some points as well. So caught up somewhat there. So that's all of my terrain stuff. Player board benefits. I have got 2 points for every village on forests, so that is 4 points. Then draw 2 cards. I'm going to draw all my cards, aren't I? Because I'm not gaining enough. A good problem to have, though, I suppose. Yeah, I get to draw 5 cards, and I've only got 4 here. It'd be all right, though. And then a tool. Oh, yes, a good job you don't get the 2 tools. Oh, you could choose to get food instead, though, couldn't you? And honor, which, yeah, I'm going to keep going up the berry track for now. Again, though, game player board benefits in any order. I think I've done all of them. So then for the bot, make sure I do all of theirs. For the nomad, they get the benefit beside their tribe marker, which is draw a card, which for them means bury a card. They've only got 1 card in their sacrifice pile left as well, so you know what that's going to translate to. Give the nomad any terrain benefits from where they've got the most, so 3 points there still. 3 points and 2 food there. I mean, they've maxed out on resources again, which, like, when I've played before, they've struggled for resources and sometimes haven't been able to take a stone because of it. Whereas in this, they're just overflowing with it. And then anything else they've got control of? They've got control of this one because tying still works as well. They can't have food or tools, though. They're just getting in the way of me, I suppose. Megalith, they haven't got any, so I don't think they get anything there. And then their player board, they get 2 points just for that because the bot just gets that. They ignore the normal benefit. Draw 3 cards, which is bury 3 cards. What if they've got nothing in their discard pot, in their sacrifice pile? They gain a tool instead. What if they're full of tools? They get food instead. What if they are full of food? They get idols instead. Okay, well, so they get to bury 1 card, and then they get 2 up here. This one's their priority. I've got no chance, have I? And then they get a tool, which is full, so they get a food, which is full, so they get an idol. And then they get 2 idols, because they've got all the megaliths out. I mean, yeah, it's still not showed. Wait a minute, this isn't updating on my screen. I can see the tiny bit of what's actually on the display has updated. Yeah, this benefit for the nomad. Whenever they get this stuff. Yeah, I've just read the thing, like, if they can't have tools, they have food. If they can't have food, they have honor. They have idol. They have idol. Okay, so am I doing that right? It's worded in a bit of a different order than this on here. When they would gain tools, they gain a food instead, as listed on the reference card. That's not on the reference card. Is it? Oh, they work their way down this as if it was their lesser benefits card. I get you. Yeah, so theirs is just in a different order. So they couldn't get tools, so they got food. Full of food, so they get idle instead, which I think means they're going to get to the top of at least this idle thing, and I ain't got a chance. Round 3, get our figures back. Resting doesn't help though either. Oh no, I do get all of my cards, because this one was up here rather than being discarded, because it was in the Eclipse. Return all figures to the player boards. Refill the hunting grounds with animals. Up to 3. And the culture display changes. So we discard all these ones and get a culture card this time, don't we? I usually get a fair few culture and tribe cards. I don't usually try and go so heavily into this, though, which I wonder is such a good idea because I've only got 3. They can have 4 villages in hard mode onwards. So we move this onto the other pile, and the Era 2 culture cards can come out instead. Yep. And then draw 5 cards, which is my deck. So hopefully I can make use of that to get some stuff done. And then their thing is just they shuffle their cards and remember that they start with 2 extra cards. Okay. So start with 2 out, and they're not first. They don't get to do anything extra. I do. So where do I want to go? I mean, I've got tools. I've got everything that I need. Shall we go for this first? Because then when we put a village out, we can get extra stuff straight afterwards. I don't want to put my chief out there. We're going to do some migration. We want to play a card first, though, don't we? We want to do some scouting. Put a camp out. I think they should have an extra honor because there was a megalith they couldn't do. I think there should be another one higher. I get to put a camp out. I get to move a camp. Where do I want this to go? Ideally on a forest, and they've taken that space. Just for my kind of extra 2 points. Let's compete up here. That's where they're going to put a village next. See if we can do that now. And then get a food. So that's done. Okay, so I've got 2 pathfinders. That's 4 hands for moving stuff. So tool puts a camp out. Tool puts a camp out. 4 hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I want to put more stuff out? And I can only put 1 more camp out, but it's ready, isn't it? It's ready. And if I did 2 more hands, I'd be able to like move it here, maybe ready? No, we'll leave it. We won't spend any more. Bottom thing, spend 3 food to put a village out. So we'll pop that out there, which brings these 3 camps back, which is where they were intending to go, which will hopefully set them back the teeniest of bits. And then I can put a camp out and I can move a camp. Well, there's not as much point in owning the glacier. So let's move towards this, but we might as well go through here, because if we end up on this tile, at least they won't get anything out of it, because I'll have 4 to their 3. Yeah, I'm okay with that, I think. Right. Pathfinder's played. Let's see what the bot's going to do. They're going to try and go for hunting. That's available. First of all, reveal an animal card and take 1. So they have got... They are collecting cats. That's the only one they are collecting, so they will help their collection by taking a card. Then they'll get a random one. It's a mammoth. They've got 2 of those, but that's fine. And it's a random one, so they didn't pick anyway. Woolly rhino, they have got 1 of them, so that's their second. And then a culture card. They are taking the rightmost bottom one into their sacrifice pile, and that's them. Yeah. Okay, what do I want to do now then? I mean, putting a megalith out is nice and all. I'd probably want to, rather than put it on top of anything, put it in one of these spots. Yeah, let's do altars. Spend a tool to put a megalith out. Put it in one of these spots that gets me... Oh, the opportunity to bury a card, but I don't want to bury a tribesman before I've used it. Maybe I want to use that later. This turn, use some tribesmen. I've got communal feasts. Spend a food to get a tribe card. They are worth a point as well, so it's worth having. I just haven't got much food. And I would need, say, 2 food to get another stone. which I have got now if I don't do a culture card. It's a bit of a waste of an opportunity, isn't it? You do want to do them. I just want to give... You get that last. So I want to give myself the food. I want to leave myself the food so I can do it. Yeah, I'm going to skip a culture card, I think. We're going to go... Yeah, I feel like I made the wrong decision not taking the food side of the chief. I usually take the food side. I thought I'd change it up. Okay. So we're going for the gaining things. The develop. So 3 hands. Let's just do tribesman for now. 3 hands of tribesman gets me a culture card. And actually, we could discard this feast, couldn't we, to be able to play this and the culture card we're gaining now. So it's this discard a card to play a village, move 1-2 spaces and get a point. Paying food, we're not going to have a lot of food. Paying tools is a bit more possible. Reveal an animal card, get an animal card, get an idol. Discard a card to get a tribe card and a point. That might be alright. Ambush hunting. I think my last action might be hunting as well. And then get a stone. I think this one, 2 points for every megalith you've got on top. I've already got 2. Hopefully I could get a bit more. So pay a tool, pay 2 food for this spot, and I can get someone into my discard pile. Let's go for... Shaman maybe for the last eclipse, because their eclipse power is getting an idol. Maybe. And then my final bonus is a tool and a food. Then, bot's second turn. They're going for there, but it's... oh yeah, there's only 1 free, so they'll take that one, of course. So they are burying a card. They've got 1 card in their sacrifice pile, which is massive. Well, their berry pile is massive. Can they place a village? No, because I've blocked them off. So instead, they need to shuffle the map deck. They move on the inside, don't they? So they're going to move, keep drawing until they can do something different. That wouldn't help them. So do we basically, like, we keep drawing until they move there then, right? In the current position they're in. I think. Right. They do that. They get a megalith, but they can't, so they bury a card, but they can't, so they get a tool, but they can't, so they get a food, but they can't, so they get an idol. They're at the top of that. Oh, and they should have got points for that as well, shouldn't they? 10 points for getting to the top of that. Because these points are immediate points. These ones are end of game points. Hey, Frederick, Happy New Year. I don't know why my chat's not updating on my screen here. I can just see it in the tiny preview window of the chat bit that you're seeing. You should be in the discard pile. Okay. That was only 1 megalith, though. They're putting something out for the eclipse, and they're doing another megalith, which is going to translate into another on it, so they're going to move up this point, which lets them bury a card, which eventually comes down to moving up here again. So their massive amount of resources is going to be worth like a point each as well. Hey, maybe it's still possible. Who knows? Who am I to judge? Right. And all my villages are out, sadly, at the moment. So let's see. I want to do this ambush hunting, don't I? Because I got it. Hopefully wanted to use it. So they've got the front running anyway, haven't they, of this? So there's not really an incentive to try and race up that. Expert mode, eh? Reveal a card, take a card, and get an honor. I suppose I might as well make my resources worth some points then. Because I still get second place even though I'm all the way down here. Which animal do you want to take? Well, I've started flipping them. But none of the others help as much. Well, you can go to any set, can't you? So I suppose I'll take you. And then discard a card. Discard this one to do another one. Spend a tool to get a megalith. I think it would be great to get 2 megaliths, wouldn't it? How can I do that, though? Be first in the eclipse, I suppose, but they can't get more megaliths, so you don't have to worry about them going on top. It's just getting the food. I don't know how the food's going to help me. It's just it's another couple of points for this, isn't it? But is that worth doing loads of? Burying people's probably better. 2 honor. Bury a tribesman. So I've only buried. That's only my second card buried as well. So I've hardly got any cards of her. And then the action. What action am I taking? So I'm a bit short on stuff. Stuff and things I could do with more of. It's tempting to keep them for the eclipse. There is like a variant that changes rest in, I think. So I can turn a food into a tool if I was to like try and get another card. I would have 3 hands if I wanted another culture. Or hunting, I could try and make more of the sets. I've only got 1 tool, haven't I? So that's 1 thing. So how many cards do we want to have buried? We want to bury at least 4, and then that would be 6 points. 3 points at the moment. But they've buried way more than 7, so they're getting 15 points. They're going to be first on that. Even if I raced up with them, they got there first. So they're getting 15 points. So burying's not going to be where I get stuff. But it turns out villages haven't really been where I get stuff either. Maybe we just do that. Try and swing the points a bit. So what could I do in villages? I could only put 1 more camp out. I would need 3 movements. And a tool which I can get from the tribeswoman. I haven't got another village to put out though. Yeah, that's a real downside to that. So I suppose don't bother with that. I'm sure resting isn't the best thing to do. Maybe get a person and maybe you can use them in the 4th round, although for what now? I'm kind of at a loss. Yeah, use the tribeswoman for a work point, a labour point, and she can turn that into a tool which I can use to get a card for next time. And oh no, I can have them now. So maybe I want a shaman to help me in the eclipse. Because I can't get another tool. Yeah, maybe. We could. I can't get another tool though, so I can't get another person. So it's not worth thinking about that. I haven't got any food actually, so I can't get a person and bury. So maybe this was a waste, and I shouldn't be doing it. It is a point having that card, but maybe you would be better off just resting again. I suppose I could get a culture card. Get 3 symbols. I definitely wouldn't have the food to get a stone though, unfortunately. I'm just getting rest, forget it. Get a card, flip a card. Let's see. let's flip this Glyptodon for an idle and 3 food. I get to draw a card, and then I've got 1.5 for the Eclipse. And I'm also going to contribute... I could just contribute all of them, really, if I wanted, couldn't I? Contribute these 2, because they'll get me a bonus as well. And they've only got 1 Eclipse card. They've still got another go. They're going to go in... Camping. They've got 1 camp on a glacier, so that's 1 point. Can they put a village out? Oh, actually, no. Yeah, what happens in this case? Because there's nowhere they could have put... There's nowhere they could have put camps in the middle to make the top viable. So would they never have gone in the top? But when they went in the top, they could have. Does this make them a bit stuck? Because don't they only move on the outside when they've built something? I mean, I didn't even do it on purpose, but I think I flummoxed them. And there isn't like an arrow going down here because it's not a benefit they would usually not be able to do. I'm going to assume I've flummoxed them. You'd let me know if I'm wrong on that. So they don't get to put a thing out. And again, yeah, because all this ever does is, if they can't put a village out, they instead move on the inner ring. But there's nowhere they can move on that inner ring that makes a village viable, because it can only be in these spots where I've placed something, right? Oh no, I'm wrong on that. I'm wrong. No. I haven't blocked them off. I'm talking rubbish. They can go there, can't they? Yeah. Which, is that a card they drew? No. Just keep going till they drew that card. Yeah, that's the only place they could go where they could put something out. And you think, oh, they've already put 3 villages out. Hey, why not have a 4th? They get an extra one. So they pop that, and then they move on the outer ring, which pops them there. So I think, yeah, they've probably taken control of some stuff off me there. And then building again, they just can't do it. So I'm sure there's something in their book for what if they can't. What if they've already done all of that? If they've all got that out, if that's all on there, it moves to the new location. Oh, the Nomad token can move about. So yes, it can move there, and then they move on the outside again. Just wants me to shuffle this deck more, doesn't it? Marty's still sadly not made it in here. And they go on these ones that probably messes me up somehow. Then, oh, they're getting some points, aren't they? So that twice. Something for the Eclipse. How many on Glaciers? They've got 1. And 2 more Eclipse. I'm contributing them to... I'll contribute the Tribesmen as well. They've got a lot of cards now. We do it at the very end. So I've got more than I need there, I think. I've got 3, 4.5, 5, 6.5. They've got 2.5. So I win the Eclipse at least. And so I stay on top there. Benefits. First of all, the track. I get a Megalith. And yeah, I can still get a 4, can't I? Just placing down here. So, bury another card. I'm going to bury another Tribesman. And get just 1 honor from that space. And that's bury another card. Did I play? Oh, yeah. I would have sacrificed these anyway, so whether I played them in the Eclipse or not, probably not going to have enough cards to draw now, am I? Because I didn't end up gaining any. So that's the Megalith. Tribe abilities on your cards that you put here. Oh, bury another card. I'm not going to be able to do that, am I? I could bury these. Gain a tool. Do we ignore the berry? I have got 4 now. Is it possible that I'm going to get 7? I don't feel like it is. And maybe with the tribeswoman's ability. Let's bury the brave. Because we get 10 points then, and that's closer to 15, isn't it? If my maths is right. Terrain benefits. This is where this starts being a problem. So I am no longer tied for most here because they've got 2, 3. Up here I've got the most still, or tied for most. So I get those tools. I beat these out, so I get that honour. Where else am I? I get the megalith here, so I think I'll go on top. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go on top again, though, like this, am I? Hopefully the honour's been worth it. So I get 2, 4, 6, 7 points from that. This one, I get a tool from. I get to put another megalith down, but it's going to have to go on the bottom, isn't it? There's nowhere you can top up, so I think we might as well go here. I could only bury the tribeswoman. I don't think that's a good thing to do. I just want the 2 honour, really. And get someone into my discard pile. So maybe I do want to. Yeah, why not? Bury her. So I'm getting someone now. Get an elder. Because of that benefit there. No more from the terrain board. And then finally, player board benefits. So I've got 3 of those on top, which gets me 6 points. I have got 3 villages on forest, so that's 6 points. Caught up. And then I get to draw 3 cards, get a tool, and 2 more honour, which gets me a tribe card into my hand. And I think that's going to be... yeah, another elder. Why not? And I think that's everything that I get. The nomads are getting... oh, eclipse phase there. The benefit beside their marker, which is bury card, which they can't. They're still full up on resources, so they get an honour. And then terrain benefits from their hexes. So they're in control of that one and get the points. They've got 3, 6 there. They get 2 food. This is where it gets a bit too much, I think. Because the 2 food for them translates to 2 idle. Getting a card translates to a resource, which for them is another idle. Getting a card translates to a food, which for them is another idle. So they're at the top of that. And they'll get a point from everyone from now on. Then they are in charge of this one, which is 2 food, which is just 2 points now, isn't it? And a tool, which is another point. They don't get the megalith, though. So 3 points, 4, 5 points. They don't get anything there, though. Another 5 points. Okay. And then player board. Drawing cards is honour, which is points. 2 more honour and a tool, so 6 more points. Okay, and then preparation phase. Shuffle their cards and pop 2 out. Animals are already at 3. So they're not really taking culture cards or anything, are they? Really laser focusing on... well, I don't know. They did the megaliths, I guess. They've just got a lot of everything, I think, really. So they start off with 2 at the bottom there. Yeah, I wish I was second in turn order, so it looked great, didn't it? The catch up for a minute. Okay. I don't think I gave them their 2 points for their stone either. So get that. Get your workers back. So having to rest twice as well. I usually don't put myself in a position where I need to rest because resting's a bit rubbish. And then Refill hunting arrows, refill culture display, and draw 5 cards. So I'm not getting that elder, unfortunately. I've got a lot of good cards, though, and I did get an elder from somewhere else. Most of my tribesmen are gone. A lot of culture cards that hopefully we're going to get to play. We've got some resources, not loads. Players draw 5 cards, and then let's go. So, yeah, moving around on the camps at this point, I don't know that it's going to be a priority as much, just because I can't put another village out. I can't put another megalith out. So I suppose paying a tool to be able to reveal and then take an animal and get an honor is okay. 1 resource is worth a point now, for me as well. Unfortunately, it's not an animal. It's animals in categories that I have already been turning over. Woolly Rhino. That's what he's collecting. Let's stop him being able to get one of them, I guess. So that's my culture card. I could play another by discarding something, but we've got plenty of time for that, haven't we? We might get some more culture cards yet. Maybe that's what I should do. I have got 3 food to like take a stone. Maybe I'll go there. Because I get a tool, don't I, for my chief's ability. So hands for doing this action. I don't think I've got anything that specifically helps this action. I was going to do the elder action. I'm not sure why I'm not doing it right now. But yeah, let's get some hands. So tribesman's definitely one. Shaman, you can spend a food to get 3 in total. A tool, sorry. So I've got 4 there. Let's get a couple of things. I haven't really got the hands to do that. Yeah, let's keep the tribesman then. I do want the tribesman out so I can bury him. There's 3. Get a culture card. I'm going to go for this one. Pay a food to draw a card, flip an animal, and bury a card. I'm not going to have... Food's going to be a problem, though. I'm not really going to have food. And then I can pay tools. It's 1 tool and 3 food to get another stone. This is a point for every different type of animal that you flipped. But the others are flip sloths, which I haven't been doing. Flipping 4 sloths would have been worth 10 points. I didn't have sloths right at the start, though. Or flip the rarer animals that I haven't taken any of. So I think this is going to get me the most. And it lets me take a card which could help me in a future action, like, say, the Elder again. Okay, lose more of these cards. Elder. Okay. And then the benefits at the bottom, get a tool and a food. Bot is going for that same one, but can't have it, so they're going to have to go left. And that's a bit of a shame, because that's a burying opportunity that I could have had. They're taking a culture card. This one. They're taking a megalith, but they can't, so they bury this instead. And then at least they're just moving their village about. Can they place a village? Yes. There. It's just a bit of a pain doing this card for... It's not no purpose, is it? Because it might affect things. Then they move there. And then can they place a village for their second action of it? Yes. And then they move down here. Okay. It wouldn't be so bad if they did another one down here, would it? Right. That's them done. So where do I want to go? Probably hunting. I did get the benefit for that, but hunting's probably going to help as well. So do I want to reveal more? Probably. A hand will reveal 2 more, because I want cat or a sloth, probably. I'll take the wild card then, so I could at least get it into a 10-point set. So that's a tool and another hand. Oh, first though, I could have paid a food to draw a card. Flip an animal, say the woolly rhino, for 6 food. And then bury a card, which I think is just going to be one of me culture cards. So that's a bit better. So I spent a tool, I need a work. I'm probably not going to do pathfinding. There's another work to be able to take that. Do I want to take more animals? Take another one to flip, I suppose. No, I don't think I do. I'm just gonna... We could just make the saber-toothed cat group. Flip a sloth, because we can't get that tablet. We've already got 3. But a tool and 4 food. No, we don't need that much food, though. What about 2 tools, 2 food? By flipping the cat, because this can make up any set. So I've got a set of 10 points at least. There's another type flipped. Get a random animal. It's... Oh, woolly rhino. I suppose that's a point. And that's it from me. Bot is going to try and go here. Well, they're going the only free space, weren't they? They'll go there. And they are going to, in the mountains, get a culture card. Rightmost one. Goes in the sacrifice pile. Then they are going to get a point for every glacier they're on, which is 1. Then 2 eclipse cards and building a village twice. Can they build a village? No. So their inner ones move there, which means they can put their nomad village down there, which then moves their outer villages there. And then can they put a village down? Yes, there. Which means they move on the outer ring. Does that affect me? I think it does there. 1 less megalith. But yeah, megaliths for both of us just become honor, I guess. Which is straight points for them. And their outer ones move to there, which gets them a glacier bonus of a card, which eventually translates into an honor, which is a point. And then action, final action of the game. I think it's probably here. Bury something else. Get more of these cards. I've got 5 tools. They're only a point each. Tools are worth a point each because I'm at the top of that track. So I don't know if it's even worth doing that. Get more animals and flip another animal. It's worth some more points. Just the ones revealed aren't great, are they? Animals. Took the wrong cards. Took elders thinking I was getting more cards, but I'm not. We've got... What about culture first, though? Do we want to do any culture? I mean, we might as well put a thing out and move a thing. So we're at least equal on there and get a food. Might as well. And then for animals... So it's a work. We could save these for the eclipse as well, couldn't we? Spending a tool gets me 3 work there. So 1 work to reveal 2 cards. A work and a tool can get me a sloth, so that can go into another set. I've flipped some of those already. I haven't flipped a sloth yet, so that probably is one that I want to flip and just keep them going into that set. I've got another work, though. I mean, they're worth a point just for getting one. Haven't lost it, but you got a point for having the tool. Maybe the tool's going to help you with something. I don't know. And then flip something. We're going to flip a sloth. Oh, maybe we want to get more work though, because I can't get anything if I can't have food. That's the bottom thing. I suppose we could flip this. We don't need that to be in that set anymore, I guess. And it's worth 2 honor, which is a bit... We could just keep going up that side and turn it into points. Like they've been doing. Like, I don't have to bother with this track. In a 2-player game, you still get second place. So that's that. Yep, I flipped an animal. We're not getting any more animals, I don't think. So I think that's it, and everything else can just go into... Yeah, I don't think we got to bury 7, unfortunately. Oh, we did. We buried 7, so we are in the last category. Okay, bot. They are going there. They're getting a megalith, which they can't do. It eventually trickles down to a point. They're burying a card, which they can do. Oh no, they should have buried a card last time, and now it all trickles down to a point. They get 2 more in... They've got loads in the Eclipse, but I can just throw all these in the Eclipse at this point, can't I? Megalith turns into a point, and then they're putting a village out twice. Can they put a village out right now? Yes. There, which moves them on the outside to there. Second time, can they put a village out? No. So they move on the inside to there. And that's where they're ending up. Okay, Eclipse time. Contribute all this. I haven't rested this time though, so I have got only 3. So it's unlikely, isn't it? I'll get some abilities though. I'll get some cards. They are spending 3. Ties, the lowest player from previous round wins, sadly. So they do break that tide. It's not going to make a difference. It's a point for them, isn't it? And I'm probably going to turn it into an honor, which is a point as well. I don't need to draw a card. So yeah, point each. So do their things first. So their turn or track was a point. It does mean I don't do my things first, I suppose, because I could alter where we are on the track, on the terrain. So for them, they are in charge of 3 points. They're not in charge of that. 4, 5, 6. And they're basically points, aren't they? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They're not in charge of that. 13 points. And then on their player board, drawing cards is the same as getting tools. So they've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more points on there. And then for me, let's see. First of all, gain your turn, track order. Yeah, I had a point. Eclipse abilities on your cards. I can get 2. It doesn't really matter which cards I get. I'm just getting them because they're worth a point each. And then I can move a camp 2 spaces. But it doesn't affect them having the benefit anymore, does it? Oh, do we do it in phases? Everyone gets their turn order track bonus. Then everyone gets all their Eclipse card things. Then everyone gets all the terrain. Because then it would make sense, I suppose. It wouldn't make much difference, really. I suppose by moving 2, I could... Well, I could just go here, so I get 2 points as well. So it doesn't affect them in any way, really. Which means I can get 2 more points. So that's my Eclipse card benefits. Then terrain benefits, I get 2 tools, a point, and an honor, which is a point. So 2 tools, 2 points. Down here, megaliths can just I haven't got any megaliths, so they can just translate into honor, which is another 2 points, and a tool from that. And I've had the 2 points. So that's another 4 points. Is that right? I realised I wasn't keeping count on my hands, I just kind of had them out. Then player board benefits. Draw 3 cards. I'll just translate them into honor. So 3 points, 4, 5, and another tool, which sadly I can't take. I can take food though. So 5 more points. Then, these. So different types of animals I have tipped. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types of animals. Then I've got 3 tier 2 megaliths. So that's 6 more points. That's 11. I've got 3 villages on forest. So that's another 6 points. 70 in there. So 68. And that's it for those. So now it's going to be, what does the bot do for final scoring? Anything differently? I think it's just the same as me, but they score their animals in a slightly different way. So leftover food and tools, they've got max. So it's a point per thing because we're all at the top. So 15 points. I'm getting that as well, though. So that's 97. Then points on the honor track and how many things they buried. They're at the top of the honor track, so they get the best return. They buried so many more cards than they needed to, but they will earn points for these cards on top of all of that, so it doesn't bode well for me still. They get, so they're in the lead and they buried more than 7, so they'll get 15 points for that as well. So I put them on 112. This flips over and it's a lovely 100. These are the resin upgrades, by the way. It does come with nice normal things as well, nice little wooden bits normally. Then any culture cards they buried, any culture cards still in their sacrifice deck are not counted, but yeah, they sacrifice tons. Some haven't got any points on though, luckily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14 more points. And then animal sets, they score slightly differently for some of the things anyway. So these they score normally, the ones that have got like the one that there's 10 cards of in the deck. So they get 3 points for having 2 of those. They get 6 points for having 3 of those. So that's 9. And the rhinos, another 3 points, so 12. And then the mammoths are 5 points for having 3 of those. So there's no reward for having more than 2. And then these also are worth 5 points for having 2. They don't treat them as wild cards. Okay, I only need about 80 points. Easy, right? So I have 15 leftover resources, 15 points. It's 83. I'm second on the offering track, so I get second position. I did bury 7 things, so that is 10 points rather than 15. There's not a hope at all, is there? Then tribe and culture cards. So including everything you buried, absolutely everything, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Did I bury anything with points on? No. 12 points from that. 105. At least we're over 100. And then non-tipped animals. We have 4 sloths, because I'm counting the wild card as a sloth, and a point each for these. So 10, 11, 12, 13 points. And player with the most points wins. Okay, so yeah, the bot has gone from being very easy to just, yeah, this was kind of over as soon as they got all their megaliths out. Was it like at the start of round 2? But yeah, I think it's a decent kind of fight was put up against them. But yeah, there's plenty to think about. I suppose, like, I don't know that the bot getting to do more things makes the solo game more interesting, though. Like, the fact that it is closer to me in points, I don't know. Was I wasting my time trying to do other things on the map? Should I have gone to, like, take things away? I don't really know. So they got in there first. Like, as soon as they got to the top of that honor track, Like, I'm glad I didn't put more effort into that track to have them suddenly, like, race to the top of it. But yeah, like, I just like in general about Endless Winter, I like the deck building. I like this, like, many multi-use cards, like the hands on them, the abilities, saving them for the Eclipse and all of that stuff. The animals are nice, but they don't, like, there's not really a massive decision of which one to take. Like, you start with an animal, okay, like, I'll get more of that one then if it comes out, and if it doesn't, like, there's stuff with the stones and that, like, oh, that animal would be really valuable to tip a load of, and if you can do it quite early, like if I could have gotten 4 sloths really early and tipped them all, then as soon as we got in here, I could have got 10 points twice. Like, you might not be in a position to do that necessarily. But yeah, worker placement, like racing for these spots. Yeah, it was all like, it's all nice and all works kind of nicely, but yeah, it just feels like a kind of, not breeze through it in the sense that you would do well all of the time, because hey, this proves that you don't. But yeah, that it just kind of happens. It's lovely looking and it's like produced very well. But yeah, after like, this is only after like 3 games so far, and it's just with the base game. But I don't know that it really makes me like, oh, I really want to dig into all of these expansions. Like, they will add more things, they will make it more complex, but I don't know if they'll really wow me with it. Like, I've had a good time with it. I've enjoyed like my plays of it so far, but yeah, I feel like I'm missing the wow factor that because like it's like pretty constantly on the Board Game Geek hotness, and maybe that's multiplayer as well. Maybe that's kind of the thing, like, because yeah, it's just going to be a solo one for me. So I think because of that, yeah, there's a lot to be getting on with, and I don't know if Endless Winter's going to be one for me, really. I've enjoyed it though. Like, it's nice playing against this. You don't really have to think much about the variation in the action that they're taking once you get the basic rules down of like drawing the card for how they move in and out. It's usually based on an arrow, what they're taking, where they're placing stuff. Yeah, it's nice and smooth for that. But yeah, maybe it's the multiplayer that's the best part, and like certainly for area control and stuff like that, it generally is better for that in it. And like, yeah, not just because of the area control. I know that Rach, who I play everything with, unless I'm playing it solo, and sometimes when I'm playing solo, I'm playing with Rach as well. But yeah, I know that Rach wouldn't be, you should be into the deck building and kind of stuff, but wouldn't be interested in the kind of area control-y bits and jumping on other people's pieces and stuff, which yeah, is a pretty mild interactive thing. But yeah, there's luckily there's a billion games out there, isn't there? I think, like, hopefully through playing though, if you've been playing it and you think that the bot is too easy, and that's the reason you'd like things to change, hey, check out that expert mode and watch the bot just stomp all over it. And that's not even with all the things turned on as well. Like, we could have turned on that they get this benefit at the bottom for being the first person in an action, like, and some of those is like, well, for this one they get 2 resources, but for this one they get to put another camp out and move a camp, which for them I think just translates as build a village. Does each one of those let them build a village? Or, like, I know not build a village all the time, they would get to move around, but because of the change in the expert rules that means you just draw these cards until they get to do something every time, then yeah. Like, yeah, I think when it was on Kickstarter as well, like, it is, like, yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm moaning about it too much, but yeah, I think you're right on that, like, it's, in the time it's kind of taken to come out, maybe some other things have come out that, like, I haven't played Dune Imperium, and I don't think, it does do solo, doesn't it? I know multiplayer, it wouldn't be for me whatsoever, but yeah, Ornak was a really fun kind of twist on deck building workplace, and in, admittedly, like, a different way, a very different way to this, but yeah, I preferred Ornak. But yeah, usually just kind of breeze past. But I thought it's worth saying rather than like be like, oh, maybe we'll do another one with expansions and stuff. I think that there's so many things piled up around me at the moment that I'm so excited to dig into that I feel like, yeah, after turning the difficulty up and definitely makes it, well, I don't know, does it make it competitive? Because it's just so much better than me now. And like this is still a really good score. I think by what I've been reading on the forums, I think one of the developers was commenting on like how one of Paul's playthroughs was really good because he got to 100 points in it, and that the bot would normally get 75 to 100. I don't know about stats and all of that, but yeah, maybe I flipped on too many things from the expert variants. But I would also like, well, I'd like a thing that's been worked out then and said these are the things to flip on to make it a difficulty, and then the extra things are another tier of difficulty. Like, yeah, it's maybe a bit too much like different options and modules and expansions and variants flipping on and off for me, which is great for variability and stuff. But if it's got its hooks in you already with its base stuff, I guess. Yeah, I feel like maybe multiplayer is where it's at, and I'm going solo on Endless Winter, so I don't think it's going to be one for me because of that. But I think, yeah, as soon as you've got loads of people competing for the eclipses, competing on this board and stuff as well, yeah, I think it's got a lot more chance to shine. I think I've not been seeing the last bits of the play your game and hope for the best. That's kind of what you got to do against the bot as well. You can't really. You can predict, there's a bit of competition like for the columns as well. You've got to see that like, oh, this is still free, so should I take that so I get the bonus? Because if I don't, the bot will definitely take it. But yeah, it's all right, isn't it? Frostpunk has just arrived today. So some point soon, I think, what's wowing the vote? I think the voting options have all been pretty... Hey Paul, I've finished. I've been finished about 5 minutes or so. Stomped me. Beat me by about nearly 30 points. I think exactly 30 points actually. It's gone from being easy peasy to impossible. At the moment, Heat Pedal to the Metal is number one. But only with 15 votes. Right behind it is Turing Machine. I played Turing Machine this morning. Like, probably needed waking up a little bit more. But I played Turing Machine about 6 times this morning for the first time. It's so good. So good if you like puzzly, logic-y kind of games. I loved it. But yeah, that's coming up second. Then Starship Cat. Actually, Frostpunk is a bit far behind. Everyone, if you're on Patreon, and hey, if you're not on Patreon, you can be on Patreon if you'd like to be, and you're able to be. Your support would be massively appreciated. A vote has just started yesterday for what's going to get top priority. Probably going to get played through next week. Well, will get played through next week. It's looking like Heat at the moment. Frostpunk is like fourth, fifth. So yeah, give it a boost. I'm trying to see it come out sooner because I'd really like to, because. Yeah, I haven't really seen... I've only seen the game kind of laid out. I've not really looked into the actual mechanisms of the board game version. I've played the video game a fair bit, and I wouldn't say that I ever got decent at the video game. I enjoyed getting thrown out of the Frozen City by the disgruntled citizens. I was trying my best. But yeah, like for now, at least, it looks like a lot of things are beating out Frostpunk for the minute. But I said for yesterday when I was arranging the vote bit that maybe we're going to have to do like, there's so much from December that was like kind of new and still great. Like Endless Winter was like second, like third of December's vote. And there's so much that's just arrived from this one. Like I think Final Girl is getting loads of votes as well. I want to play all of it. I want to play Final Girl, Paperback Adventures, Sky Mines, Heat. Most of it's still sealed. But yeah, maybe February we're gonna have to like repeat some options so they get a chance, or do some like things that missed out, because that stuff's gonna arrive in the meantime a bit, I think. But yeah, I don't want as many things to kind of pass me by and get forgotten for ages as they end up doing with the nature of games coming out all the time. But it will slow down a bit, won't it? Like, a load of these things are either like Kickstarter arrivals, like the paperback, and kind of things I bought at the end of the year, seeing that, like, oh, I probably should have given Skymines a go by now. Like, it's doing the top 10, really, and seeing, oh, I want all these things in there. You usually score 120 when you play Paul. Well, I got close. I got 118. But yeah, Frostpunk, hopefully, be fairly soon. I'd like it to be dead soon. But yeah, probably not going to be more Endless Winter. But hey, at least we got stomped by the expert nomads. If there's any nomads to get stomped by, it would have been embarrassing if I'd started the stream talking about how easy the solo mode was and then lost to like the normal or hard difficulties. But hey, I am going to be live again at some point next week. I'm going to be pre-recorded tomorrow. There's going to be Agents of Smersh, an oldie but a greatie. That's not the brand new one. I have got the brand new one waiting in the wings. I wanted to play the old one to kind of refresh myself on it and just play one that I know that I really love. I'm wary. I'm worried things have been changed. What if I'm just a grouchy old one that wants things to stay the same? I'm excited to try the epic edition of it though. But yeah, Agents of Smersh is going to get played through finally tomorrow. And I'll be live again with some of those things I mentioned. It looks like Heat is going to be the biggie, and I hear great things about Heat, and it's quite easy to handle solo mode. So I'm really looking forward to that. Looking forward to all of them things though. It's why I've got them. It's why they're on that list. And you've got 2 big campaign games arrived just this week, right after your vacation. Well, yeah, like some of these things did come kind of just before Christmas, like too late to be played and stuff. But yeah, even though we had to have about a week or so off for Christmas, but it's kind of like it's traveling around and stuff and seeing family and things. Unfortunately, not a board gamey time for us. But we're catching up now. We're hoping to. We'll see how Rachel's day has been when she gets in. But we're hoping to do some Frosthaven tonight, which will be lovely. I say some. It'll be a scenario, won't it? We're not going to get 2 in an evening. It's great fun. It's high on your wish list, Monica. Oh yeah, I think I hear pretty much nothing but good things about it. Even like I've only played Flamme Rouge, which I think it's not like massively like. I think it's got like a fair few things tweaked. I played Flamme Rouge once about, I don't know, 5 years ago. I don't really remember much about it. I don't think I did very well, and I said it was only down to that, but I don't remember enjoying it that much. But Heat, I've got high hopes for. I just want to be beating all of these AI cars at race cars. But yeah, Agents of Smersh tomorrow. Some early, like, there's a surprise. Not a surprise, an unearthed old thing should be going up on Patreon at some point quite soon. And yeah, I'm working on a video tomorrow. Hopefully there's going to be time for it all. But yeah, there's going to be live things next week, like some of those things that I mentioned in that big list. Didn't enjoy Flamme Rouge. I recommend going to the doctors. I didn't enjoy Atiwa or Marrakesh either. Maybe something is wrong with me. But yeah, I couldn't even say what it was. I played it once, so I couldn't even say at this point what it was that I didn't like about it. It's not so clear in my mind. It's probably something like, I remember. Is there a racing game called Thunder Rally? I think it's called Thunder Rally. We played that in probably about 8 years ago. Everything's probably even longer than I'm saying because I think it's still like 2019 or something. But yeah, there was a racing game that was like Thunder Alley or something, and I remember like doing decently well in that, finally edging ahead of the pack, and then some kind of random event card came out, and it was like, oh, everyone catches up to the first player. It was rubbish. What was the point of me doing all of those machinations to try and get in front? And then someone just won that hadn't spent cards trying to get in front. Oh, it is Thunder Alley from GMT. Yeah, that sticks clear in my mind. That's why I didn't like that. If I haven't played, like, there's is it like R90 or something like that? I can't remember. There's a kind of more serious looking race game. I'd like to try them out. I like the idea of it. Like, I like the idea of racing video games. I'm rubbish at them though. I'd like to be. I've got no interest in watching actual racing, but I like the idea of being a hotshot race car driver. Race Formula 90. Very complex, a bit too much. Oh, maybe. Maybe I'm not going to be... Yeah. Well, I'm not getting it anytime soon anyway. I'm on I say a strict ban. I should be on a strict ban. I've got... Like, Rach isn't going to watch this stream. I found out, just randomly on the internet, that Point Salad, which is a lovely filler game, in Korea has got, like, a Pokemon version. And it's all... Instead of salad cards, it's all of the different evolutions of Eevee. And Rach absolutely loves Eevee. I'm getting to that for Valentine's Day. Other than that, I've banned myself from getting games because of what havoc I've wreaked in filling up this month's votes. I can't do that all the time. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to Heat. I'm confident. I'm not shaken by not being so buzzed about Endless Winter. The next one is going to be great. But I am buzzed about Turing Machine as well. Maybe we'll do that next week. Hopefully it's not going to be too boring watching me not be able to do logic. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic game. But yeah, I should clear off, shouldn't I? If I'm hoping to play Frosthaven, I should start the process of getting it set up, I guess. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you for your support in the various places, and it would be appreciated. It's linked in the description. Steve linked it in the chat. Thanks, Steve. Thank you all for helping me out and watching, whether it's now or in the future. And yeah, enjoy Agents of Smersh, I hope. Even if you haven't heard about it. It's an oldie, but I think it's fantastic. And maybe people are going to be selling their old ones to get this new one. I think the old one's great. Opinion on the new one forthcoming. Thank you so much, everyone, and I will see you live again next week at some point for some Heat and that. Bye, everyone. Bye, bye, bye.